Alright, good morning everybody. My name is Brian Weichel and I'm here with a wonderful video for you guys. Well, first of all, yeah, there's a lot of crap here. I know. I wish I had a better room to record my stuff, or this stuff in. Unfortunately, my own bedroom doesn't fare any better. But, today's kind of going to be a movie review today. And I'm actually going to be talking about 3 movies that I saw today, or not today, that I saw throughout the entirety of this year. And I'm going to be going and reviewing them in order. So this might be a bit of a long video. Sorry if you're wondering why I'm always looking. Might also just have it be like that. It's just because I'm trying to do this at the right timing. Well, let me just kind of start off with the movie that I saw that started off this entire year of movies. Alright? And that was Logan by Fox. And that is definitely a movie that you should watch. That gets my full thing when it comes to that. Logan is a 20th Century Fox film that's rated R that is the more serious of their Marvel movies. Now, what I mean by that is, I mean that how last year Deadpool came out and that was like, everyone's like, ah ha ha, it was such a funny movie, you guys need to watch it because it's just so funny, and it's like, this is the true essence of Deadpool. Well, with Logan, that's the true essence of what a Wolverine film should be. The reason why I say that is because it is. It shows Wolverine at his most brutal and his most vulnerable. And that's an incredible thing to do, Crap, come on. Because in previous films with Wolverine in it, I mean the X-Men series, as in like X-Men, X-Men, or X2 United or whatever, I don't know. I didn't really watch that. The first X-Men trilogy in the 2000s, and the ever-hated X-Men Origins Wolverine, along with X-Men Last Stand, X-Men Wolverine, or Wolverine I should say, just Wolverine, X-Men Days of Future Past, and X-Men Age of Apocalypse. Pretty much all those movies had Wolverine in them. And Wolverine was played by the same actor for 17 years straight. That being the wonderful and beautiful man who is Hugh Jackman. And in those movies, Wolverine was really dumbed down. Because for those of you who may not know, Wolverine in the comics is a very brutal character. I mean, for a guy who has knives coming out of his freaking knuckles, you'd think that he would be drawing a lot more blood and you'd be seeing a lot more guts when he goes and cuts someone. But in those movies, as in the first X-Men trilogy, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the X-Men First Class trilogy, I guess is one way to put it, and Wolverine movie, those are really dumbed down in terms of his character. Because pretty much when it comes to his character, it's like, yeah, I got knives, I'm gonna, start using them, but there's not going to be a lot of blood coming out. And he's just more or less reduced down to a one-line clipping character who takes no craps, sort of thing. And that's not necessarily bad, as long as there is a good reason for him to be doing that. As in, like, there should be a good reason as to why he doesn't always fight. There should be a good reason as to why he doesn't always go and kill people. There should be a good reason as to why he doesn't do all these things that he could do in order to make the conflict end like that. You know, there should be a lot more things than just he just doesn't kill people. You know, and a lot, pretty much whenever, like the first time that we saw Wolverine on a solo movie was X-Men Origins Wolverine, and I believe it was 2009. And as anyone who has seen that movie knows, that movie sucked. I mean, I remember seeing it for the first time, and at first I thought I liked it, but then after going and rewatching it, I realized how stupid it was. Especially with Deadpool towards the end. And with Deadpool at the end, I mean, I kind of understand why Fox did it, but I also don't at the exact same time. Let me explain. Alright? In terms of a studio's in terms of a studio, pretty much a movie studio's goal is to make the most amount of money from a product or from a movie. Because that's what they're there for. That's why we have a capitalist economy in our United States of America. That's what makes America great. You know. So, sorry, Trump, you're a bit late on that one. Joke, or whatever, political joke. But, it's still like, when it comes to Fox, I understand why they dumbed down some of the things in that movie. Because, A, Wolverine's a very popular character, B, it's a superhero movie, and C, Deadpool is, well, if you're wanting to do a proper Deadpool movie, you're going to have to be a bit, I guess, one way to put it would be, what would be a good way of putting it? You're going to want to be very, God, what would be a good way of putting it? There is no really good way of putting it, but there's a lot of vulgarness to his character, and he's very brutal, and he's very violent, but he's also very intense in terms of like how he is in the comics. So if you're wanting to do a faithful adaptation of his character, then you're gonna have to like make that movie way more rated R. Now there have been instances where Deadpool as a character being used in other media forms has been done well, like with some of the Disney shows, although I'm not so sure about his voice actor. Will Fried is a great voice actor, don't get me wrong on that. But I'm mostly concerned about his Deadpool voice. God, I got just his chair though. There we go. About his Deadpool voice, because his Deadpool voice in the TV show is just like a kid, but that's beyond the point. The point is that Fox, up until this year, in the very beginning, was not doing good with Wolverine's character at all. Because he was dumbed down and he wasn't allowed to be as vicious as he truly could be. And the movie Logan really exemplifies that fact. Because like, he's reluctant to use his claws, as in his, knives that come out of his fist. He's reluctant to use that because, as we can quite obviously tell, it almost seems like he's fearful of them in the movie. I mean, in all honesty, you guys should watch the movie before I go, really any further with this or anything. But, I guess I should have done this in order of movies. Gosh, I am screwing up so far. But it was just really well done. Let me just put it that way. The acting and cinematography were wonderful, and it really hit home for me with that. And it really showed me, after going and seeing the movie Deadpool, the first of Fox's rated R comic book movies, and then Logan coming out the next year, practically on the same date, it really showed me that Fox is going in a good route when it comes to these movies, because they know they screwed up with Deadpool. Sewing his mouth shut and having him have a frigging knife come out of his knuckle, and having him have all these stupid powers that he never had in the comics. made him look like a video game character, which a lot of people went and referenced him as being later on as kind of like a meme or whatever. But with Deadpool coming out, that came out last year, this kind of showed that Fox is like, okay, we screwed up. We're not going to do it again. Here's the movie you guys always wanted for Deadpool. And that was wonderful of them. That was a wonderful movie. Not in comedy, yeah, it was great. And even if you go and consider it as you could even go and consider that movie as a romance too. Because there's that relationship between Vanessa and Wade that isn't just boy meets girl, boy falls for girl, girl falls for boy, blah 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 blah. It's not like your stereotypical gosh, it's warm in here. It's not like your stereotypical romantic comedy, because the romantic subplot in that movie is more romantic than it is comedy. There are elements of comedy in it, but it's still very romantic relationship between Vanessa and Wade. And when it comes, going back to Logan, when it comes to the movie Logan, there's a lot of relationship building in this movie. And there are a lot of instances where it shows, it's obviously showing that Logan, Hugh Jackman's character that he is playing in the movie, really is, at first, in the very beginning parts of the movie, until it gets like the second and third act, Wolverine's main motivation for going and taking, I forgot her name. I want to say Diana, but I think I'm completely wrong. I'm just gonna say X-23 because that's her name in the comics, and I think they also reference her that way in the movie. But pretty much the clone, or the female clone of him. The only reason why he ever takes this girl along with him is because Charles Xavier, aka Professor X, was pretty much like, Logan, you need to take him with you. That's a horrible impression of Patrick Stewart. I am sorry about that. I'm not going to do it again. But pretty much, Charles Xavier was like, she is your daughter, Logan. You need to take her with you. And the only reason why Logan ever agrees to that is because of the pressure from Professor X, who he has a very strong bond with. A very, very strong bond with. And it really shows in the movie how big of a bond he has with Professor X. Especially during a part of the movie which I will not be revealing. But, which has probably already been revealed, but eventually the relationship between Professor X and Wolverine moves away, as in like their relationship kind of splits. I'm not going to say how because that's a bit of a big thing, but it does still split. I'm just going to leave it at that. And it eventually eventually Logan is forced to deal with his clone daughter, X-23. I keep on forgetting her name. But still, he's having to deal with her. And if any of you have ever played the movie The Last of Us, or not the movie, why did I say movie? Game, The Last of Us by Naughty Dog, then you would love the father-daughter aspect of this movie as it goes on. Because it plays out just like that movie. Why I keep on saying movie? It's a game. Just like that game between Joel and Ellie, there's a relationship between Logan and, I keep on forgetting her name, X-23. Gosh, I don't like referring to her as X-23 because I know it's not her name, but that's the only name I can think of right now. Sorry for those of you who are like really big fans of that and are like going to be typing in the comments, oh, her name is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm sorry. Okay, I forgot. But still, the relationship that builds between Joel and Ellie is very similar to the relationship that builds between Logan and X-23. Because if you remember in that game, this is probably just going to be an entire video on Logan alone, and I know I'm late to the punch. I'm like 4 months late to it. But the relationship between Logan and X-23 builds just like the relationship between Joel and Ellie. Ellie, that's right. The chick that looks like Ellen Page. But pretty much, it starts off with both Logan and Joel in the movie Logan, and Joel in the I keep on saying movie, in the game The Last of Us, where both Logan and Joel, are reluctantly bring along this female character, as suggested by someone they have a very personal relationship with, whether it be a sexual one in the assumed case of Joel and I don't remember the lady that pretty much serves as the whole reason why Joel goes and moves Ellie along, and Logan and Professor X in the movie Logan. And when those characters that pretty much are the ones who convinced the main guys to take on the role of an escort, or not the escort, take on the role of a protector, then when those people go away, I'm not going to say why because spoilers, but they go away, then Logan and Joel are forced to form a relationship with Logan X-23 and with Joel Ellie. And you see at first it's a very hostile relationship between the two. As in, like, Logan with X-23 is like, I don't want to deal with you. I'm only doing this because Charles told me to do this. And Joel is pretty much the same way. And along the way, as they're going to their destination, there's a lot of instances where, there were a lot of instances in the very beginning where they were kind of at odds with one another. As in, like, Logan was upset with, it's Laura, that's right. I'm an idiot. Laura's the character of X-23, the female clone of Wolverine. Pretty much, I can't believe it took me that long to figure it out. Logan and Laura were at odds at the very beginning when Charles ended up, becoming no longer a factor. And same thing with Joel and Ellie. At the very beginning, they were very at odds with one another because both people, because both girls were very rebellious, and pretty much like what they said was what they wanted to do, and nobody was going to tell them different. But as the story moves along with both the movie and the game, you see as the relationship builds, and builds. There's some downs, and there's some, moments where it's like the relationship almost seems like it's set back to zero. But it does end up coming back to a big point, especially towards the end of both storylines, although both storylines end very, very differently. But it's still, this movie was wonderful to watch. I loved it, and I nearly cried towards the end. It's coming out on DVD in about a week, or in about 10 days, I believe. I think on the May 26th. If you haven't seen it by now, go get that DVD in 10 days. Go just get it and watch it. Because even if you're not a big fan of Wolverine, you're going to still love it. You're going to still love the relationships that are built, and how much emotion and power and how much emotion is shown, and how much chemistry is shown between the actors, and just how powerful it is. And it's just beautiful to see. This video is about, and that's pretty much the end of this. I mean, I give this movie full on, like, watch. Watch this. And plus on DVD, it's coming out in about 10 days. it's gonna be coming out with a black and white option on it, which, while intentionally might seem a bit odd, actually really works really well. But anyway, that's kind of the conclusion of this. If you like what I'm doing, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, or whatever. Yeah, and all that. If you want, I don't really care at this point. It's fine with me either way. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.